What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video we're here with the UFC 301 fighter grades. I'm going to be grading every single fighter or every single key fighter on the card that got a win or that lost on the main card, and I'm going to be grading them, you know, the classic A+, A, B, all that kind of shit. So far, well, I don't have all of those. I've got A+, B, C, D, and F for those people that really did not perform at all, and I'm going to be taking into consideration their expectations going in, but also obviously just how good they looked and their performance coming out of the event. So yeah, let's get started with the main event. Alessandro Pantoja, the champion coming into the event, retained his belt coming out of the event. I'm going to give him a C though, because in comparison, like, you're the champion, you're the guy that was favored on the odds, and it was a close fight, a very competitive fight. I scored it 3-2 for Pantoja. I can 100% understand if you want to score it for Erceg. If you are being really intricate with the damage scoring, you can definitely make a strong argument that the cuts for Erceg were the most damaging thing, or the most significant strike that landed. But I think overall the grappling of Pantoja was enough, and he did enough work on the ground, in my opinion. I'm not saying that's final, but that's what the judges said, and I agreed. But yeah, I'm going with a C, because honestly, like, as the champion coming in, you want to look a little bit better on the feet. He did look similar to how he always does, a bit sloppy. He did get cut open. This was probably the closest fight he's ever had. The Pantoja fight, even though that was a split decision on paper, I think there's a way stronger argument to score this for Erceg than there was to score that fight for Moreno. But yeah, Pantoja retains the belt. He gets the win on paper, so I am going to give him a C grade. And a solid performance all round. Definitely not his best, but I think we also got to give a lot of credit to Erceg, and that's who we're going to be talking about now. Steve Erceg, I'm going to give him a B, to be honest, because he came into the event as the number 10 ranked guy, as the challenger, and even though a lot of people on MMA YouTube were picking him, most people, the odds-wise, he started as a massive underdog. Everyone the initial reaction to this fight was like, oh yeah, Erceg's just getting thrown in here because there's no one else to fight Pantoja in Brazil. He's going to lose. That was like the initial reaction. And then people started kind of going over to his side and picking him. But in terms of the performances, in comparison to what I personally, this is my ranking, because what I expected from them compared to what they delivered, I think Erceg had a better performance in terms of expectations and delivery compared to Pantoja. So I'm going to rank him above Pantoja, even though he didn't walk away with the title. And I know someone in the comments is going to be like, oh, you ranked him higher, that means you thought he won. No, it doesn't. It just means in comparison, my expectations for Pantoja were higher. And because it was a razor close fight, the person that I had lower expectations for, they technically exceeded or met my expectations easier or better than Pantoja did. So yeah, I'm rating Erceg a B. I can't give him an A+ or an A because obviously he didn't get the win on paper. He didn't walk away with the belt. But in terms of a challenger coming in and fighting for the belt, as an underdog in Brazil, he did very well. So fair play to Steve Erceg. But let's move on to the co-main event. Jose Aldo, the King of Rio, I'm giving him an A+. Even though he did not get the finish, and that really would have put the capstone on it, that would have really solidified this A+. I wouldn't mind if you say an A, but I'm not doing an A. I'm just, I'm separating the tiers more clearly. So yeah, Aldo, A+, A, whatever you want to give him. I think he was one of the best performances on the card, and especially probably one of the best performances of the year for someone that didn't get a finish, if you know what I mean. I'd say this is one of the most comprehensive, one of the most impressive decision victories we've seen this year. Kind of a weird thing to say, but I think that's what we can say when we look at Jose Aldo's win. Coming back after almost 2 years off, about 19, 18 months off, I think it was. Last time we fought was in August 2022. And also over 20 months, actually, I changed that statement. 21 months, I think it was, that he was out of action. And he comes back and beats Jonathan Martinez, not just scrapes a win, no 29-28, no split decision, no draw on one of the scorecards, none of that. 30-27s across the board. Not a single person on planet Earth scored any other round of this fight for Martinez. It was the clearest of 3-0s you will see. And Jose Aldo just cleanly outstruck Martinez on the feet. Really, he had a couple moments of worry. He did get tagged a little bit. But apart from that, Martinez is a guy who was, I think, on a 6-fight win streak coming into this, on a hot streak, ranked at bantamweight. Jose Aldo coming back at 37 years of age. His performance in terms of, I expected him to win. and I thought he would do enough on the feet. I said 29-28, I'm pretty sure. I might have said 30-27, but I thought Martinez would give him a bit of trouble. Martinez really didn't give him a lot of trouble. Maybe it's a little bit of bias. Maybe I'm being a bit too over the top with this, but I was extremely impressed with Aldo, especially given that he was coming back after so long and his age. He looked quicker than Martinez. He looked quicker than He looked quicker almost than Pantoja and Erceg out there, to be honest. Extremely fast. Looked really impressive. His boxing was great. And even, when he had Martinez rocked and probably could have got him out of there if he really swarmed, he stayed composed on the feet, didn't leave himself exposed, and just shot a takedown and just dominated Martinez for the last minute of the round on the ground. So great performance from Jose Aldo. A+ stuff. Incredible. And yeah, really good stuff. I was happy to see it. But let's move on to the loser of the co-main event. Jonathan Martinez. I'm going to give him a D. Pause. But no Diddy, no Jones. But yeah, I'm just putting Jonathan Martinez, grading him a D because, look, while I expected him to lose, and I did think this was going to be too much for him, I thought stylistically he wasn't going to be able to have the same success that he has in other fights. He had no moments, really. Like, he landed a couple leg kicks, he landed a couple shots on Aldo, but as the fight went on, it was actually less. Normally, I was thinking Aldo was going to have a more competitive round 3, and I thought he was going to be clearly way better in round 1, and then Martinez would come on later because I wasn't sure how Aldo's cardio would hold up. But no, Martinez really didn't get going at all. His timing looked off. He was biting on feints. He was biting on everything. He really wasn't able to land his shots. So I'm going to grade him D because although it wasn't an awful performance, it's not like he just got blown out of the building and finished in a minute like certain other people on this card. But yeah, you just can't grade him above this. I'm not going to be too harsh because it is Jose Aldo and I was expecting him to lose, but as a favourite on the betting odds, yeah, he didn't live up to that expectation in the broader community. But let's move on to the next fighter. Anthony on paper Smith might have just delivered his best on paper performance to date. He subbed Vitor Petrino in 2 minutes. Look, I'm going to grade him a B. I'm not going to put him A+ because I don't think you can say this is just oh my god, how good did Anthony Smith look? He looked pretty shit on the feet as he always does. He didn't look that good. He kind of won just because Vitor was retarded. And Smith even said post-fight, he's Vitor was clearly made a bunch of mistakes. This was not Jose Aldo dominating Martinez. This was not Michel Pereira, who I'm going to talk about in a moment. This was not him going out there and fucking backflip KOing Ihor Pereira. This was Smith getting served a fucking free submission on a silver platter, and because he's not Dustin Poirier failing guillotines, he's going to get it, and Petrino's going to tap, because he put himself in the guillotine. So great performance from Smith. I'm going to rank any round 1 submission victory. You got to rank pretty highly, but in terms of expectations, exceeded them because I didn't think he was going to win, but I can't act like this just really demonstrated his skills and he was a really well-rounded and really good performance. It was there was one moment of the fight where he got given a guillotine and he took it. So fair play. I'm going to rank him in the B column or the B tier, whatever. But let's move on to his opponent that was retarded. As for Vitor Petrino, it's just an F. It's a fail. It's he got 1 mark out of 100 on the paper. This guy failed completely, didn't even write his name down. Just shocking performance from Vitor Petrino. He came in as a -600 favourite. I picked him to win, but I wasn't he's going to blow Smith out the building. But I was yeah, Smith's washed, Smith's old. If you're good in any way, you should beat him if you are not retarded. But I should have taken into consideration that Vitor is just a roid-head Brazilian that's probably got no IQ. So yeah, he put himself in a gilly and he lost as a -550, -600 favourite in 2 minutes. It's an F. There's no redeeming features. He really didn't do anything. He just shot a takedown like a spastic and gave Anthony Smith a free submission. So, fucking hell, you retard. Let's move on, though, to another fighter. Michel Pereira, it's an A+, undoubtedly. One of the best performances, if not the best performance on the card. Just pure entertainment. This guy, his last 3 fights have lasted a combined 3 minutes and 1 second. Much similar to my statistics in the bedroom. But great stuff from Michel Pereira. Just fucking dropped him immediately, dropped Pereira straight away, and then backflipped him. Arguably illegal move, but who cares? When they were talking, I'm yeah, it's Brazil. They ain't gonna overturn this. It was too cool to overturn. This wasn't if that thing had KO'd him there, then I would have seen them overturning it. But it's he already dropped him, so that wasn't the first shot that landed to be oh shit, Pereira's in trouble. He clearly already rocked him. And then he subbed him as well. So it wasn't the finish even came directly from that backflip knee to the face. But amazing stuff from Michel Pereira. 54-second win. It's an A+, undoubtedly. Yeah, he won in like 3 different methods. Like, he dropped him, he was almost going to get a TKO, and then he almost KO'd him with a fucking backflip, and then he subbed him, got the tap out victory, and then also put fucking Pereira out cold, and then also danced on him and did the same dance that Pereira did when he beat Shogun in Brazil. And Shogun had just been inducted into the Hall of Fame and was sitting cage side. Everything about this was tremendous. A+ for Michel Pereira. But let's move on to his opponent, Ihor Pereira. It's just an F. I don't want to be too hard on the guy. Pause. But again, no Jones. But yeah, you can't. He lost. I don't care what the favorite, what the odds were, anything. If you lose and have no moments and get subbed and fucking knocked out in the space of 54 seconds and go unconscious and you tapped and napped and you got fucking TKO'd. Like, that's rough. So yeah, F. Better luck next time, buddy. Let's move on though. Caio Borrallho got a big win against Paul Craig, knocked him out in the second round, flatlined him, and I'm going to give him a B. I can't quite go A+ because it wasn't a round 1 finish and it wasn't just a completely flawless victory, but I can confidently say it was his best performance to date. Very clearly best performance to date because, you know, he was getting kicked a few times. Craig was landing occasionally, and Craig looked god-awful on the feet. I'm actually surprised. When's the last time Craig's been, like, knocked out? Because Allen subbed him, and, like, he's lost other fights, but when did he get knocked out last? I don't remember. Oh, Johnny Walker. Yeah, he got knocked out by Johnny Walker. So, Craig in Rio, not a good combination. If you send him there again, he's gonna fucking lose. Give him Michel Pereira next. He'll get fucking chinned in 30 seconds. But yeah, Paul Craig, awful stuff. Caio Borrallho, I'll talk about Paul Craig in a second. But yeah, Borrallho, really good win. Looked better than he's ever looked. Had power on the feet, but I think that's also attributed to just Craig being shit. And so again, unless you do what Michel Pereira did and win inside a minute, I can't give you an A+ just based off you being a minus fucking 600 favorite. But still, incredible stuff. Great win. But yeah, like, Craig's chin was up facing the fucking sky the whole time. He looked shit on the feet. So yeah, I'm not going to say like, oh my God, no one's ever done that to Craig, but it was a very nice win. So good job. But let's move on to the man that I've just been talking about and shitting on, Mr. Paul Craig. It's just an F again for Paul Craig, even though it's kind of sad though, because all 3 of these people, I mean, actually no, Petrino was a massive favorite, but these 2 big underdogs, Pereira and Craig, both massive underdogs. So it's kind of harsh, but still, you got smoked and you got chinned brutally, and half the visual of the fight was just you sitting on your ass and Borrallho telling you to get up. Like, you had really no moments. You landed some body kicks, but yeah, striking defense was awful and you got flatlined. Better luck next time, buddy. Let's move on though. Joanderson Brito, I'm going to go with a C for him. Look, he got the win. He got a win by TKO, but it was controversial fashion, I guess, because it was due to a cut on the leg of Jack Shaw. So it's not like he really just dominated and pillar to post. He was clearly winning the fight, but if you don't get a clear, like, if you don't get an actual proper finish or just win a dominant decision, like, it's going to be kind of hard for me to grade you. I don't really know where to put him. I might be being too harsh. I might be not being harsh enough. But yeah, he looked really good. He was beating Jack Shaw the whole time. But just because the fact that it wasn't really a proper finish, I can't go above a C. So yeah, fair play to Brito. I do think he does deserve to be ranked though. I think he should be number 15 over Sadiq Youssef. But yeah, let's move on though up to another fighter. Next up, we got Yasmin Lucindo. I'll go C again. She was a big favourite, but she won 30-27 against a ranked opponent. So good job to her. But yeah, let's just move on because I don't care about the fight, but she won on the card, so I'll have her included. Yeah, let's move on. Next up, we got Mytabek Oralbai, the caveman himself, the prehistoric figure, Genghis Khan, some would call him. I'll go C. He did win, and he won all 3 rounds on the scorecards. He did get a point taken, which was kind of weird, but he won 30-27 and then a point deduction, so 29-27. He looked really good in the first and second, and look, I picked him to win, and I expected him to look pretty dominant in the grappling, so the third round kind of took away from it a little bit, because he really looked sloppy, and Brenner had him in some fucking bad spots, and I was like, oh, he's going to gas and die and quit. But no, he fought past that little bit of adversity and he got the win. Overall, Brenner's a fucking really good guy who beat Guram. And even though people are acting like Guram was dominating that fight, just gonna give you a quick recap. Brenner was literally winning round 1 clearly until the last 10 seconds when he got dropped. And then in the second round, apart from like a massive cut, I mean, actually, no. I take that back. Yeah, he clearly lost the second, but the third round was pretty much all Brenner. So don't act like Guram was like just fucking 30-24ing him, and then he got a Hail Mary fucking Leon Edwards head kick. Like, he was in that fight the whole time and just made Guram gas. But it was weird because Oralby gassed and Brenner gassed too. So that was... How bad is Guram's cardio? Because Brenner gassed his. So apparently Brenner ain't some Marab type of guy, which I thought he might just have like unstoppable cardio, but he's got a will to win, and Oralby was able to break that will, well, not break it, but push past it enough to get the victory. So I'll give him a C. But let's also talk about Elvis Brenner. Elvis Brenner took a tough loss. I'll go D for him. I'm not going to be too harsh on him because he was a pretty big underdog. He was like plus 220 or something going into this. So a lot of people did expect him to lose, but I thought he would give Oralby a bit more trouble on the feet. He looked pretty bad on the feet, to be honest. Nowhere near the skill level that he looked against Guram, because against Guram, he actually looked pretty crisp. His takedown defense was solid, and his striking looked really good, and he was the one pushing a pace and actually didn't gas out in that fight. But so yeah, he didn't perform as well as I thought he would, even though I still expected him to lose. So yeah, D I think is the right ranking for him. Again, you're a loser on the card. You lost 30-27, and you weren't, like, apart from Erceg, none of the losers are going to get ranked that highly. Like, it's kind of hard to unless you do what Erceg did and arguably win. So yeah, let's talk about someone else. Car close. I'm going to go D. This might be harsh. I might be being too harsh here because he did get the win against Joachim Silva, who's a tough opponent, but he looked kind of mid, to be honest. First round, he looked solid, but his cardio looked kind of shit, and I don't rate Joachim Silva. Joachim Silva arguably, or not arguably, lost, but he was getting pressed by Clay Guida and having trouble in that fight. So I don't know, Drakkar Klose, I just expected a bit better from him. I thought he would look just more clean. But yeah, I might be being too harsh, but it just has to look even. Otherwise, it pisses me off. So yeah. Next up, we got Mauricio Hufi, MVP of the card, apart from like Aldo, in my opinion. This guy, and Pereira, this guy was sick. This was like the highlight of like before the main card. This guy was fucking awesome. He was scissor sweeping guys. He was fucking flying kneeing guys. He was doing all sorts, and he looked amazing against Jamie Mullarkey, and he came in as like a decent sized favourite, but not some massive minus 500. In hindsight, he probably should have been. I think the only reason he wasn't is just because he hadn't fought anyone in the UFC yet. It was his debut. But in terms of a debut, and probably not that many people knowing who you are, blew the roof off the place, in my opinion. Guy looked amazing. Counters looked incredible. Fluid on the feet. And yeah, really good stuff. A+ performance for Mauricio Hufi. I look forward to seeing him back in the cage and just match this guy up with fucking strikers, bro. Because his striking is sick. He's got a 100% knockout rate. Like, he's fucking awesome. Glazing's a bit too much right now. I'll stop. Let's move on though. We got Ismael Bonfim. I'm going D again. Might be harsh because he won 30-27, but lil bro, you fought Vince Pichel, who's 41. Like, you should be smoking this fool, and you looked shit. So, I mean, he didn't look shit, but he just didn't look good. I wanted him to finish him in the first round, and even then, I probably would have only given him a B, but I'm giving him a D now. Pause. Yeah, let's move on though. Last up, we got Alessandro Costa. I'll go B for him. Really good performance. Won the first round clearly and then dominated the second. Kicked the shit out of Borjas' legs. And Borjas is like a solid fighter. He's a guy that gave Josh Van a tough first round. And yeah, maybe Borjas is just a guy who has a really good first round in him and then falls off a cliff in the second and third. But yeah, really good performance from Costa. Was a slight favourite. So again, not some massive favourite. But yeah, he looked solid. He looked really good. Finished him in the second round. And Borjas didn't have that many moments. So really good performance from Alessandro Costa. But let's just rearrange this really quickly. Alright, rearranged this. We got Pereira in first place. We got Mauricio Hufi in second place. Jose Aldo in third just because he didn't get the finish. So those are the top three for the A+. For B, I'm going to go Erceg. I think had actually the best performance out of these guys. Then Borrallho, then Smith, then Costa. I wouldn't mind moving Erceg down a bit just because he did lose. But yeah, then I'll go Pantoja because he did retain his title. Lucindo, Brito, and then Oralby. And then for D, I'll go Bonfim, Klose, Martinez, and then Brenner. Martinez and Brenner I might swap around, actually. Who knows? Who cares? And then in terms of worst performances, I'd say Petrino had the worst based on expectations because he was the biggest favourite on the card and he lost in 2 minutes. And then apart from that, yeah, Pereira and Craig in the F tier. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I introduced this as a series after 299, and I'm going to do it for every single pay-per-view. I like doing the next fights to make and then this. These are the kind of two videos And then occasionally I might do like a rankings show if there's some big changes to be made. Let me know in the comments, do you guys want to see a rankings show? If not, I don't know, who cares? I'll just do predictions for the next card. But yeah, UFC 301 in the books. Not much else to talk about. I was thinking about doing like a Jose Aldo video, but I'm probably not going to because I want to do one other thing and then predictions. But yeah, whatever. Let's move on to the end of the video. Bye. See ya.